What if I told you we've all been starting our new year at the absolute worst possible time? Today, we're going to dive into this fascinating idea called April theory, and it's all about how the real fresh start, the one that actually has a chance of sticking, doesn't begin in the cold and dark of January, but in the hopeful, budding energy of spring. But first, let's just be real for a second. We've all felt this, right? That huge burst of ambition on January 1st. You lay out these incredible goals. You feel totally determined. And then, almost like clockwork, by the time February rolls around, that motivation is just gone. It's this super frustrating cycle. But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's not about a lack of willpower at all? What if we're all just victims of a really, really bad start date? And this leads us right into what a lot of people are calling the January resolution rut. The whole argument, and it makes a lot of sense, is that by choosing the dead of winter to completely reinvent ourselves, we're basically starting a race with our feet stuck in thick mud. We're fighting this massive uphill battle before we've even taken a single step. So let's break down exactly why that is. Just look at this contrast. In January, you're dealing with short, dark days. It's cold outside, so you're cooped up. A lot of us are still coming down from that post-holiday exhaustion. And, on a biological level, your serotonin levels, that's your brain's feel-good chemical, are naturally lower. Now, let's flip that completely to April. The days are getting longer, they're brighter, the weather is warming up. There's this feeling of renewal in the air that you can actually feel, and it genuinely boosts your energy and your mood. It's a night and day difference, literally. Okay, so if January is this constant struggle against our own bodies and the world around us, what's the alternative? Well, this is where April theory comes into the picture. And it's not some complicated life hack or system. It's really just a simple but profound shift in how we see things. It's about aligning our personal ambitions with the natural world. So what exactly is April theory? Well, at its core, it's this belief that spring gives us the perfect conditions for building new habits and setting goals that actually matter. What this really means is you stop trying to force change when everything around you is asleep and hibernating. Instead, you learn to ride this powerful, natural wave of growth that comes with the season. It's about working with the current, not against it. And there's a huge psychological bonus here, too. April feels like a second chance. If those January goals kind of fizzled out, you don't have to carry around that feeling of failure for the rest of the year. Spring offers this wonderful, guilt-free reset. It's a chance to look at those ambitions again, but this time with the wind at your back, not blowing in your face. It comes with this renewed sense of optimism that the season just naturally gives us. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't just a nice idea or some poetic way of looking at things. This whole theory is actually rooted in real science. In the very real way our environment physically and chemically affects our brains and our motivation. So let's take a look at the proof. For instance, a key study in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found a direct, measurable link between sunlight and our personal drive. It turns out that feeling you get on the sunny day, that little urge to get up and do something, it's not just in your head. More exposure to natural light literally boosts our energy and motivation. It's a real biological response, and spring just delivers it to us in spades. And this pattern, well, it holds up across the board. Study after study shows that people experience way more emotional well-being and a much higher baseline of motivation in the spring compared to the winter. See that high bar for spring right there? That represents the ideal foundation you want to be building on. A base of high energy that's already there for you, not one you have to try and create from scratch on a cold, dark morning. And honestly, once you know about this theory, you start seeing it everywhere. Think about it for a second. Students often find a new gear, a new academic stride in the spring term. Gyms that were getting quiet in February suddenly see this second wind of attendance in April. Or maybe it's happened to you. You suddenly get that itch to start a garden, or go for a run, or finally tackle that creative project you've been putting off for months. That's April theory in action. Okay, so the theory makes a ton of sense. The science backs it up, and you can see it playing out all around you. But how do you actually put it into practice? How do you make it work for you? Let's walk through a simple, really actionable plan to make this spring your personal new year.
Let's just break it down into a really simple 4-step spring reset. First, gently revisit those goals from January. No judgment, okay? Just ask yourself, which of these still matter to me? Let's give those a fresh start. Second, and this is key, intentionally align your routines with nature. We'll talk about what that looks like in a sec. Third, focus on small, realistic, consistent habits, not some massive, intimidating overhaul. And finally, number 4, consciously leverage that fresh energy you're feeling. Acknowledge it and channel it. It's time to hit your real reset button.
So what does aligning with nature actually look like? Well, it can be incredibly simple. You could use the fact that the sun is rising earlier to start a quiet morning walk before the day gets crazy. Or you could use that extra hour of evening light to finally take up an outdoor hobby you've always been curious about. The big idea here is to stop trying to force new routines into a schedule that's already difficult, and instead just let the changing season naturally create these new little pockets of opportunity in your day. So, when we boil it all down, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really simple, and honestly, it's pretty freeing. Stop fighting against nature and start working with it. Think of spring not just as a season, but as a gift. It's this annual, built-in opportunity for every single one of us to grow, to reset, and to begin again. This quote from environmental psychologist Dr. Susan Clayton, wow, it just says it all so perfectly. Our surroundings influence our behavior more than we realize. A season of growth outside often inspires growth within. That is such a powerful reminder that we aren't separate from our environment. The renewal we see happening in the world all around us can be the exact same catalyst we need for our own transformation. And so that brings us to the final thought. As you step into this season of renewal, you really don't have to be haunted by resolutions from a colder, darker time. You've got a fresh start right now. The energy is there, it's waiting for you. So the only question left is, what will your spring restart be?